Hello and welcome back to the Nexus Gaming Series. I am the Crushinator, and I will be your host for tonight's cast between Protectors of Aiur and House of Chez. We have got a full lobby, the pleasantries are underway, and while we do that, let's learn a little bit about our teams. Head over to the tail of the tape. Protectors of Aiur coming into tonight's matchup at 4 wins and 4 losses, 10 and 9 on the map record. So far, best maps 3-1 on Volskaya Foundry and 1-0 on Hanamura. Can we see Hanamura tonight? I don't know. We'll have to find out. Best heroes so far for Protectors of Aiur: 3-2 on Ana, 3-2 on Li Ming, and 3-1 on D.Va. House of Chez coming into tonight's matchup at 5-3, 12-6 on the map record, 2-0 on Hanamura, and 1-0 on Battlefield of Eternity. Best heroes: 4-1 on Deckard Cain, 4-0 on Zool, and 3-0 on Li Ming. Could be a contested hero here tonight. While we have the opportunity, let's go over to the map screen. As you see the lobby in the background as the map screen loads. I've really got to fix that somehow. Taking a look at the map bands as I stall for time, trying to pull up my Soothsayer. Cursed Hollow, Infernal Shrines, Dragonshire, and Towers of Doom are banned away for tonight's matchup. And Protectors of Aiur are taking us to Volskaya Foundry, their winningest map, for game number 1. And the draft is now underway. So let's get to it and discover that Greymane has been banned. House of Chez taken out the Worgen leader, who just very recently screamed to the sky in anger. You gotta catch up on your WoW cinematics if you're not catching that reference point. Protectors of Aiur gonna ban away Mephisto. And we're coming in fast and furious. House of Chez gonna ban away the Sylvanas. Definitely a strong one here on Volskaya Foundry. Protectors of Aiur with the final ban here. Deckard Cain has done very well for House of Chez so far. Chromie is also a big threat. D.Va, a big threat too. They're going to take away ETC, so there's a lot of big heavy hitters still on the board here for both squads. House of Chez chose first pick for this draft, so we'll see what they want to pick up here. They're going to take away the Li Ming, the dude. Will be playing the Diablo Mage. A Diablo Wizard, I should say. Chaldeum Wizard, to be more specific, is the word I was looking for. Protectors of Aiur with the double pick next. Li Ming already picked up. Probably be prudent to snipe a Deckard if it's in their wheelhouse. We're going to see the D.Va from Redbeard, and Sergeant Scoops is going to go ahead and grab the Uther. Interesting. Uther could be a main tank, could be a main healer, so that's going to be dubious until we see more heroes coming out from Protectors of Aiur. House of Chez, they've had a pretty good record with Deckard. See if they can keep on the train here. There it is, Deckard Johanna. Chez Mix playing the Johanna, Caribou on that Deckard. Deckard Li Ming, pretty lethal combination, just seeing where people are going to be rooted long before it happens, allowing Li Ming to position, set up a full combo is pretty deadly. Pretty deadly indeed. Sometimes you'll see a Diablo picked up with that combo. The Stay a While into Apocalypse, even just the root into Apocalypse can do some big damage. But I personally have a tough time playing Diablo and Volskaya just because how wide the lanes are. Johanna is, I find, a little bit more consistent in setting up Li Ming targets. Though Johanna hasn't been faring too well overall as a tank lately, so we'll see if Chez Mix can change that trend. Zul'jin banned away by Protectors of Aiur, and Garrosh banned away by House of Chez. So House of Chez thinking Uther is the healer, and they are correct. Eclectic is going to grab the Mei, and Orion will be playing Cassia. Cassia, after a couple rounds of nerfs, still pretty powerful. Especially with someone like Mei in the front providing those consistent blinds. And D.Va just very strong in the off lane. Interesting to see that Uther picked up so early. Makes me wonder what Hariel is going to get for that last pick. House of Chez, they've got a pretty strong trio right now. They're going to add the Lunara and Mariners 005. Snapping up Nazebo. I think that's my first Nazebo of this season. Interesting pick here. Nazebo can definitely do some double soaking work here on Volskaya Foundry, which makes me wonder if they're going to put Lunara in the bottom lane against that Diva. Hariel. Is this a Butcher? It's a Chromie. So the Uther support with the Chromie Cassia. Interesting. Could be just a comfort here for Sergeant Scoops. Could be they need that stun follow-up. They don't have a lot of stuns otherwise. So an interesting matchup here. We've got a definitely an odd choice here from House of Chez with the Nazebo, not one that we see a lot, versus the sort of long bomb style from Protectors of Aiur. Let's see how they clash here in game number 1. Loading on in here to game number 1 on Volskaya Foundry. Still some unanswered questions for these drafts. Who's going to end up where? And how will the engages happen? Don't have to wonder much longer though, because here we go. On the left in the blue we have Protectors of Aiur with Ecplictic on the Mei. Sergeant Scoops is playing Uther. Orion is on the Cassia, Hariel is playing Chromie, and Redbeard is on the Diva. On the right in the red, we have House of Chez with Caribou on the Deckard, Shaymix on the Johanna, Flash is playing Lunara, Mariners is on the Nazebo, and the Dude is playing Li Ming.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Game number 1 on Volskaya Foundry is underway. Uther picking up that W build, looking for stacks on level 1. Chromie with the Dragon's Breath quest, going to be looking to stack up those Ws as well. Deckard with the Scroll of Identify quest, going to be going for the roots early on. There's a quick 3 stacks for Chromie right off the bat here. And the Toad quest coming out for Nazebo, wanting to get that extra melee value. May having to pop that Unstoppable right away to avoid the root combination from Deckard. And it looks like it will be Lunara going to the bottom lane to go versus that Diva to allow Nazebo to double soak here. Ecplictic and Shaymix keeping an eye on each other in the midsection here. Looks like Protectors of Aiur slightly ahead on the wave clear, but only slightly. Pretty even thus far as Ecplictic trying to stall out the rotations of House of Chez. Little Valk was riding his bike down the ramp. Oh, that's good. Very cute indeed. Looks like our team's going to go ahead and start up their turret camps right on time here at level 1. Redbeard helping out Orion on the left-hand side. Flash finishing up the camp on the right as the Dude had to back off. That camp was starting to deal a little bit too much damage. Ecplictic starting to put some damage on the heal camp, trying to keep it away from the side of House of Chez. Looks like Lunara couldn't finish this up either, so Deckard is going to have to come on down here and try to help out the Dude, dropping a couple potions just in case. Makes me think this could be a new style comp coming in here for House of Chez. Redbeard peeking over there just to see what's what, but Caribou picks up the turret for House of Chez here. Experience extremely even so far. Checking in on the Nazebo stacks, 36 of the 175 needed for that level 20 eventual quest. Ecplictic manages to ice away, throws down the Blizzard to stall any chase. Looks like Redbeard and Flash are just politely trading here in the bottom lane. Redbeard has the bomb available, so can play a little bit more aggressively. Shaymix walk it up Eclectic gets the icing, but no damage in range. Redbeard's maintaining presence in the mid lane here. Gonna have to buzz on down to try to make sure that no experience is lost. Control points unlocking in about 15 seconds here. Looks like Protectors of Aiur are going to go ahead and start up their siege camp on the left-hand side. Ariel could be in some trouble here as Chez landing the Condemn onto Chromie. But Flash is warded away. Very nice job by Eclectic to peel away the Lunara there. Redbeard and Caribou going to battle for this point. Deckard trying to set up those potions, get ready for this first fight of the game. There's not a whole lot Deckard can do here in terms of damage, but can stay alive forever as D.Va's damage output at this level is pretty low. So that means Protectors of Aiur are going to have their siege camp, and House of Chez do not. That's a pretty big early advantage here going over to Protectors of Aiur. Bomb accidentally sent the wrong way on those boosters. Redbeard's going to have to get right back in the mech and try to rebuild that bomb. Mariners continuing to soak in the mid lane. Ariel staying in range of all that XP as members of Protectors of Aiur are starting to get a little bit low here. Redbeard and Sergeant Scoops have to peel on out of there. And House of Chez is going to take over this point and start the progress. Ariel putting big damage onto the dude in the backline. Redbeard is on the chase. And Eclectic with the final hit there. That's going to give Protectors of Aiur an advantage on this point. And there's the stun. Uther showing that value as Lunara is taken out. That's a double kill for Protectors of Aiur. Orion going to go ahead and start up that turret camp once again. Protectors of Aiur starting their channel time on the objective. House of Chez still not worried about that siege camp on the right for now. Gazebo just trying to get double soak in, trying to be the late game hero that he is. Cassia picks up the turret camp on the left-hand side. House of Chez is working on regrouping. Johanna in the bottom lane just picking up a little bit of extra XP, trying to find the level 8 here. Come on around the outside, and here comes the next fight. Redbeard still without the bomb. Scroll of Identify at 8 stacks here for Deckard, and Johanna is right in the thick of things, really slowing down the members of Protectors of Aiur. Eclectic trying to get away from the poison damage of Lunara here. Lunara going to be putting a lot of strain on Uther's health pool. Redbeard popped out of the mech. Good zoning route by Deckard, but it looks like Protectors of Aiur are going to survive for now. Sergeant Scoops being a little bit of trouble here. The poison is ticking down. Ooh, has the flash of light. And that's going to force Ariel and Sergeant Scoops back. We'll see if they have enough time to back and get on this point. As Orion heading back as well. Already 70% on the objective. Eclectic and Redbeard in the top lane. Redbeard getting the mech back online. Mariners getting some good siege here in the mid lane with those Nazebo abilities. And if they're going to have to step on, they're going to have to do it now. There they go. 99 versus 99. Redbeard trying to build that bomb up before getting knocked out of the mech again. Needs a little bit more damage. Is going to have to back off here. And that Lunara damage is really starting to stress out Uther. Very, very low members. There's the D.Va bomb coming out from Redbeard. Sergeant Scoops trying to stay alive. The stun is good onto Chez. Possible kill here onto Johanna coming in. D.Va picks up the kill there. May, Eclectic, getting low, and it's a trade for tanks, but there goes Deckard Cain as well. Sergeant Scoops, Orion, so very low. Uther somehow still alive, and Lunara goes down as well. But Uther falls to the poison damage. The dude gets caught on the architecture, eats the extra chromie shot, and that's Li Ming down. So 3 versus 1, Mariner's gonna have to get away from the shots of Ariel here. And Protectors of Aiur, after a very hard-fought battle, pick up this first Protector. Level 10s are here for both crews as we see the Protector heading to the top lane. For Protectors of Aiur, we have the Ice Wall, we have Micro Missiles, Ball Lightning, Slowing Sands, and the Divine Storm from Uther to try to help set up those extra kills. House of Chez is looking at Stay a While and Listen, Leaping Strike, Gargantuan, Wave of Force, and Blessed Shield. Protector going to go ahead and knock down that well. Starting to get a little bit low on health here, though. Chromie going to have to think about backing up here in a moment. So only 1 cannon in the well here for Protectors of Aiur. Chez is on the chase. And this Protector, still with 20 seconds on it, so we'll see what they can do here. Looks like they're going to go ahead and just leave that behind the wall. Redbeard finding Sheymix. There's the icing, getting the slow onto Johanna. Ice Wall comes out. They want to start this fight. Gargantuan from Nazebo to try to lay down the damage. Sergeant Scoops puts out the Divine Hurricane as well. But it looks like Protectors of Aiur are going to have to start backing off. They did not have enough damage to continue that fight. Redbeard once again working on building up that mech bomb. The rest of House of Chez sieging down the mid lane. Only May here to try to clear this lane. Redbeard trying to rotate on down. May's wave clear, certainly nothing to write home about, so he's going to need some help from the rest of the squad. Orion picking up that left side turret, and we're going to see the dude and Caribou once again working on the turret on the right. Because this could be trouble. D.Va's going over to the right side. This could be an invade coming in here for Protectors of Aiur. Camp is still working on Caribou in the background before it leashes. Redbeard, I think, going to have to boost on out of there, manages to keep that bomb. Blizzard going to force Sheymix to back up. Both these teams sort of testing each other. Trying to find any positional advantage that they can. House of Chez finally going to get the opportunity to grab this camp. Meanwhile, though, Mariners caught in the ice wall. But the crew has to back up here. They don't have the opportunity to move up and try to get that kill onto Nazebo, who's already sitting at nearly 120 stacks. About to be a bunch more on that baseline quest. Orion picking up the siege camp for Protectors of Aiur. Redbeard in the bottom lane. Gonna have to be careful. Don't want to get popped out of that mech too early before the next team fight. Speaking of team fights, we got another clash here in the mid lane. Toad's quest is finished for Nazebo, so putting out that big wall of big toads. Level 13 is here for both teams. Very even so far. I suspect not much is going to happen here unless they decide to fight over this heal camp, at least until Protector B. Eclectic throwing out the Blizzard just to see if there's any opportunity there. D.Va back to base, try to heal back up. Good idea. Preserve that energy total. Looks like the dude and Caribou are going to start up their own siege camp here. Mariners could be in some trouble. The icing is good. There's the Divine Hurricane. Mariners trying to escape, but the slow from May is so good. Ice Wall, just to be sure, and that's Nazebo going down here. Protectors of Aiur now have the opportunity to jump onto this camp. Very nice rotation. Finding the ever double-soaking Nazebo, wandering between the lanes here. Nazebo absolutely on the path to having the Vile Infection on 20. Control point B, unlocking in 5 seconds here. Protectors of Aiur are going to have to get as much value out of this as possible if they don't want to face a level 20 Nazebo. Flash putting on a very nice leaping strike, getting away from the gank. And we're going to see House of Chez start to channel this objective. Another turret picked up by Protectors of Aiur. Sheymix playing very forward. Pops the Iron Skin right away. This could be trouble here for Johanna. The icing and the slowing sands means Johanna isn't going to be going anywhere. Ball Lightning comes out, and Sheymix is taken down. That's a big pick here for Protectors of Aiur. Right now, the dude is sitting on the point, but is going to have to back on out of there as Protectors of Aiur is starting to rotate up. And they will go ahead and claim this objective and start the channel. Still 20 more seconds on Johanna returning to the battlefield. Mariners and the dude taking the opportunity to grab another turret camp. We're going to see Protectors of Aiur with the opportunity to siege in here. Take out that cannon wall and start pushing into this fort. They've got a brief level 16 advantage. Johanna now back on the battlefield. Flash getting some counter siege done in the bottom lane with Caribou and the dude. So that means this top fort going to be going over to Protectors of Aiur. And very likely this next objective, we're going to see Mariners with that Gargantuan pushing the mid fort as well. Could be that House of Chez is going to get even more value off losing their tank than Protectors of Aiur did with that gank. Gargantuan will end up finishing the fort. bottom fort going to be taken out as well.
Red team has destroyed the
Great
fort.
job by House of Chez turning that into a winning proposal there. Shemix getting the slow here onto Eclectic. Looks like Redbeard was a little hesitant to get inside the Protector, but ultimately does. And they're going to be heading down to the mid and the bottom lane. As we see Orion on Cassia in the bottom lane just trying to catch up that minion wave in preparation for the objective. Throwing some bombs onto the cannon tower, will not quite manage to finish it up. And the Protector is going right onto this wall. Knocking out the cannon tower, going to knock out the other, almost certainly going to be taking out the well. But they need a little bit more than that, as Sergeant Scoop's taking some big damage there in the back line. Uh-oh, we've got a pause coming in from Eclectic as Uther disconnected. Take it back to the me screen for just a moment as we move away from that laser noise. Hope you're all having an excellent evening tonight. Got a little bit of a dry throat, better fix that. Hopefully we'll get Sergeant Scoops back here in just a moment. I think this could be trouble here for Protectors of Aiur. We're starting to get into the late game, and they don't have enough structures down to really take a near 20 team fight to the core. And once Nazeebo comes online, who's already stacked past 175, that poison plus the Lunara poison with a solo Uther, I don't know, I think that's going to be pretty rough. But anything's possible. You get the right team fight, you get the right picks, and you can get it done. Still waiting on the reconnect here. Hopefully it's not too much longer. Scoops is back. All right, we're going to be getting back into the game here in just a moment. As I recenter. Hear that laser? Zoom in on that laser. All right. Let's jump back into the game. Protector. Going to be working on the fort first. Probably a good plan there, as the shielding on the well will absolutely be going down here since that patch. The wells have basically 0 health and 100% shields. For all intents and purposes. Protector's going to be bombed out here. There's the ice wall blocking the escape. This could be what Protectors of Aiur needs. Flash trying to get away here. There's the mech bomb. Oh, but House of Chez is starting to turn this around. May is down. Redbeard and Orion low gonna have to start backing out. Shemix and Flash taking a couple extra hits there from the Dragon's Breath, almost going down. As we see Mariners nearing 200 stacks on that baseline quest. Just double soaking their heart out here. It is big voodoo on 4 too, which means Nazeebo is going to be excessively tanky. Here's the invade. House of Chez moving onto the turret camp. Sergeant Scoops puts out the Divine Hurricane, but Uther is going to be the first to go down. Redbeard popped out of the mech and blown up. There goes Diva as well. Orion is being chased out by the Flash. Dude in the Flash, that's what I'm talking about. House of Chez pick up the triple kill. Very nicely done. Shoulder presses coming in from Valkymer. Gonna have to do that between games. I've got the dumbbells ready and everything. Building those bananas like a madman. Very nicely done. House of Chez, looks like they're thinking about starting up this heal camp. Gonna go ahead and pick up an extra item in preparation for Control Point C. 219 stacks on Nazeebo, that's incredible. Just been rotating around the lanes with impunity. Getting as many poison kills as they need. Protectors of Aiur all back on the battlefield here. Flash finally with enough health and damage to finish off this turret camp. Can't pick it up though. So that means the dude is going to have to come and handle that. That's 4 turret camps and a heal camp on the side of House of Chez. They are fully itemed. 100% itemed here. Boy, I hope they don't lose a team fight with still holding on to those. Both teams going to go ahead and pick up their siege camps in preparation for Control Point C, which should be coming up in just a moment here. Eclectic trying to get this wave pushed. Could be in some trouble, though. The icing comes out to try to create some distance, but... Ooh, the micro-missiles dismount House of Chez. And May manages to get under this fort. Speaking of fort, looks like House of Chez isn't quite done with this one. They're moving on in. Level 20 is here for Nazebo, so that poison is going to start to hurt. Chez Mix, gets stunned. The Indestructible is popped and goes down. The healing managed to get placed, but Chromie's killed by Flash. Sergeant Scoop's trying to back up here. Redbeard is going to boost away. So it's 1-for-1 Johanna for Chromie. I didn't think Johanna was going to get that heal camp off. That was very, very close. House of Chez just going to siege down. Look at all that poison. Amazing stuff. Redbeard on the chase here. But going to get very quickly burned out of that mech. Redbeard is going to have to back off, and Orion just eating so much toad damage. Over half a health bar and poison. Going to have to move back very quickly as Sergeant Scoops trying to heal up the Amazon. Beautiful Holiday asking how early Lunara was picked. Lunara was picked very late in the draft, I think in the 4-5 spot. Uther was picked up in the 1-2. For Protectors of Aiur. It was either 5th or in the 3-4. I can't remember, but Lunara definitely after Uther. Siege continues in the top lane here for House of Chez. Level 20 has arrived for Protectors of Aiur, but they cannot contest this bottom point. The dude is holding on to 85%. Looks like they're thinking about it. Eclectic moving on down. They see the rest of House of Chez is in the top lane. Chromie putting up the defense. And Protectors of Aiur are actually going to flip this over. Very nicely done. Chez Mix trying to peel away for the dude here. Diva just putting out that damage. Just pippity-papping with those pea shooters. House of Chez just pushing in the off lane. Just using that poison to siege down like maniacs here. Toads come out. Most of the wall is down. Ariel trying to throw at those dragon's breaths. Protectors of Aiur are not going to back. They're just going to try to get other value on the map. Up to 50% on this channel. House of Chez thinking about what to do next. Are they just going to continue the siege? Looks like they might. They're just going to move on to this keep. Mariners and Flash softening it up here. Ariel moving on out. There's the ice wall to try to cut off the retreat. There's the double stun onto House of Chez. Here comes another stun. Chez Mix, the Indestructible, will not be enough. Johanna is down. But that could be a hollow victory here, as House of Chez is just moving on to the core. Protectors of Aiur are coming back. Diva staying on the point for now. There's a huge sleep from Caribou. Core down to 50%. Flash and Mariners are just peppering it. Look at all that poison damage. And that's going to be it. House of Chez with the slow burn victory. GG. And there it is. Protectors of Aiur gambling that House of Chez would not go core. House of Chez just going, are they going to back? Are they going to back? And they just didn't back in time. Nice job by Chez Mix keeping the members of Protectors of Aiur occupied. And Flash and Mariners just go ahead and take the core. GG. Protectors of Aiur 11-7 on the kills. Ariel on the Chromie dishing out the pain at 61,000 hero damage for Protectors of Aiur. Flash on the Lunara with the 65,000. Very nicely done there. Quick look at the talents, and then we'll go ahead and get set up for game number 2. Alrighty, House of Chez puts up the first point in this series, taking the game there on Volskaya Foundry. We're going to be headed to the break, but before that, I.O. Valcomer 10 shoulder presses. So let's do that. And then we'll get ready for Game number 2. Alrighty. Make sure I don't rip my headphones out. Good position. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. There you go, buddy. Thank you very much for redeeming those bananas and continuing to support the channel. Let's head to a break, and when we come back, it's going to be game number 2, Protectors of Aiur versus House of Chez. Don't go far. Alrighty, welcome back. We're almost getting to be ready for game number 2. House of Chez took game number 1 over Protectors of Aiur, and they're going to be looking to close this out, but can Protectors of Aiur strike back? Looks like we're almost ready to go. So let's head over to the maps, let you know about how this has progressed. Mariners with the follow. What are you doing in here? Mariners, our lovely Nazebo from last game, ripping it up with those poison toads. Very nicely done. Checking in on the maps, reminding you that Cursed Hollow, Infernal Shrines, Dragonshire, and Towers of Doom were banned away for this series. Volskaya Foundry was chosen by Protectors of Aiur, but it was House of Chez who took the victory. And now House of Chez is going to be bringing us to Tomb of the Spider Queen for game number 2. Oh yeah. Let's get into the draft. Here we go. Light higher rep exercises are fine. Will be far healthier than the standard stream would give you. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Just any sort of blood flow. A lot of them make me stand up, do a stretch now and then. Like, just anything's better than nothing, you know? Protectors of Aiur are going to ban away the ETC. House of Chez. See if there's anything on the other side that they want to get rid of. The Diva and the Chromie did get through to Protectors of Aiur in the last game. They did not translate to a victory, but they are both very, very effective heroes. Greymane once again targeted by House of Chez. Not gonna let the Barky Man bark on him. I try to think of different things to call different heroes. Like Worgen Leader, Wolfman. I think I went with Barky Boy just now. Gotta stay loose, you gotta stay on your toes, you gotta think of different things to call the heroes. Keep you interested. Tooth Mage Orphea. Gonna be banned away by Protectors of Aiur. The Arcane Chomps will not fall onto House of Chez. House of Chez, they've banned away Greymane. They see ETC and Orphea already taken off the board. See what they are. See what they want to target here. I think a May ban wouldn't be amiss, but see what their thoughts on the situation are. Once again, just targeting those heroes of Orion. Just going to take away the Sylvanas instead. Protectors of Aiur now with first pick here on Tomb. It's going to be the Diva once again for Redbeard. I was wondering whether it was going to be a Johanna steal. To grab that from Chez Mix and take one of the premier wave clear tanks here on the wave clearest map in the map pool. So House of Chez has the opportunity to reprise the role on Johanna if they want. So far, they could just pick up the same stuff as last time. Flash is going to go ahead and take the Mephisto that made it through the draft this time, and Chez Mix will be back on that Johanna. Mephisto, not exactly known for wave clear, but can definitely poke from safety here on Tomb of the Spider Queen, being that there is a lot of architecture to hide behind and a lot of very close walls to retreat to. So we'll see whether Protectors of Aiur can get on top of the Buzzy Spine Lord. Sergeant Scoops is back on the Uther, and Eclectic takes the opportunity to pick up the Garrosh this time, that was banned in the second round by House of Chez last time. So back on the Uther, very early in the rotation here, are Protectors of Aiur. Chromie going to be banned out by House of Chez, going to put Hariel on a different hero. Do you ban Nazebo? I think you gotta ban Lunara. Like, Nazebo did some damage, but Lunara was what really caused issues for Protectors of Aiur in the last Uther comp. So we'll see if that's going to be the choice, or if they've got something else in mind here. It's going to be the Ana ban. They don't want a super juiced Mephisto barreling down the lanes at them. It was Flash that played Lunara last time. So if they don't have another Lunara player, or they don't have someone else who can play Mephisto, they may have locked themselves out of that choice. We'll see what House of Chez wants to respond with here. Mariners is going to pick up the Zool, and Caribou is going to play Anduin, trying to get some saves versus the Garrosh Uther combo with Anduin. And when it comes to wave clear, it's hard to top Zool. So definitely a helpful pick there. Last two picks here coming in for Protectors of Aiur. They've got their setup in the Uther Garrosh. Let's see what they want to pick for their blow-up. No Greymane or Sylvanas or Chromie to speak of. Hariel is going to grab an Alarak, and Orion will go back onto the Cassia. Interesting. So Alarak will shut down the Iron Skin from Johanna, making Johanna a possible pick target, and can also just remove the opportunity for defensives from anyone that they happen to throw in, but Anduin can still come in with the save from afar. The dude is going to stick with the range and pick up Hanzo. So going to stay as far away from that Garrosh as possible. We'll see whether the dude wants to go with the Armor Shred. That was always a big pain when I was playing Garrosh. Hanzo would go negative armor on the Stormbow and make my day hurt. So we'll see if the dude does that, or if they've got something else in mind, but either way, game number 2, Protectors of Aiur versus House of Chez on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Here we go. Alrighty. Moving on in here, game number 2 on Tomb of the Spider Queen. On the left in the blue, we have Protectors of Aiur with Eclectic playing the Garrosh. Sergeant Scoops back on the Uther. Hariel is playing Alarak. Orion on the Cassia, and Redbeard is on the Diva. On the right in the red, we have House of Chez with Caribou on the Anduin. Chez Mix is on the Johanna. Mariners on the Zool. Flash is on the Mephisto. And the dude is playing Hanzo.
4, 3, 2, 1.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Game number 2 on Tomb of the Spider Queen is underway. It is going to be the target practice for Hanzo. Probably looking like a Q build. There's the throw onto Mariners. The follow-up stun from Uther is good. The Bone Armor comes out. Silence once again from Hariel. They don't quite find the kill onto Mariners, taking a good chunk of Zool's health away. And that's really what Protectors of Aiur's comp is built to do. Just find one and kill one. Looks like D.Va down in the bottom lane will be going up against Zool, as both teams are going to start up their rotations. Try to clear these waves. The pull in silence onto Anduin is good. Eclectic, thinking about the throw, is not going to throw in the Johanna. The dude just looking for those target practice stacks. Silence does not come out onto Johanna. The Unstoppable is popped in time. It looks like the wave clear coming out from House of Chez is starting to slow down Protectors of Aiur on these rotations a little bit. The dude with the 1 stack so far needs the 5. There's the throw over the wall onto House of Chez. The follow-up is good. I don't think that silence quite hit, as the Iron Skin came out very quickly from Chez Mix. Mariner's looking for the opportunity to turn in here. Redbeard focused on the lane. Just going to drop those 8 off real quick. Caribou looking to turn in real quickly. So both these teams just making sure that they're not missing any XP. Getting as many of those spider butts as possible. And these teams just going to rotate between the lanes for now. Redbeard going to visit the mid lane here for just a moment, but it's going to have to head back to the bottom very quickly, as Zool can get the wave on the wall extremely fast. Zool putting out a little bit of extra damage onto D.Va in the meantime. Forces out the bone armor, though. The throw forces another Iron Skin out of Johanna. Thinking the poke is going to be a little rough into the Garrosh Uther. Yeah. Hanzo into Garrosh is really, really tough, I find, for Garrosh. And Mephisto being immune to this combo when, you know, in normal position also makes it very difficult. So House of Chez putting up a pretty good draft here versus Protectors of Aiur's plan. But even the best laid plans can go wrong. So we'll see how this game unfolds. Chez Mix once again looking to get into the backline. Hariel not quite finding the combo onto Chez Mix. Sergeant Scoops taking some big damage, manages to avoid the Q of Mephisto and get on back. Looks like Orion has moved down to the bottom lane, mostly unseen here. I don't think Mariners knows that Cassia's taken this bottom camp, so a little bit of a macro advantage coming on through for Protectors of Aiur here. D.Va's health bar not showing at the top. That's true. Interesting little observer bug there. D.Va is limitless. Dude putting out some damage onto Redbeard. Still only 1 stack on that level 1 quest. Has to hit every hero with Stormbow. Eclectic managing to avoid the gank in the top lane. It's going to give Caribou the opportunity to drop off 7. Redbeard dropping off 12 here for Protectors of Aiur, and both teams are sort of slowly working their way towards this first Web Weaver wave of the game. Dude's still looking for those Stormbow stacks. Yeah, it's just hit the hero once. Okay, I'm making sure it wasn't twice or like, and with an auto. I don't know Hanzo's quests all that well, unfortunately. D.Va, with the help of this camp, is actually getting up onto the wall. Zool with the counter damage, almost forcing D.Va out of the mech without being able to use that bomb. Chez Mix with the 14, trying to get the turn in. Looks like they will manage to do it before Redbeard is able to come up and interrupt. But Blue, Protectors of Aiur, manages to sneak a turn in the top lane, and we're going to have Blue Web Weavers coming in for the first objective. Mariner's a little bit low versus D.Va up here. Going to have to be very careful on that matchup. Here come the Web Weavers for Protectors of Aiur. Sergeant Scoops with the stun. The Unstoppable coming out from Johanna, denying the silence, and the follow-up stun from Garrosh. Chez Mix, healthy and happy, here for the wave clear and the defense. Looks like it's Zool and D.Va in the bottom lane, middle lane going mostly unattended for now. Oh, that's a lot of damage onto Chez. The silence coming on through. Iron Skin able to keep Johanna alive for now. Look at Mephisto, Flash just flashing on him, getting the kill onto Uther and Alarak. And there's that counter engage coming in from Mephisto, doing so much work. Very nicely done. Mid-wave, trying to be cleared away here by House of Chez. Will not get the mid fort. Checking in on the experience, pretty even so far. House of Chez is a little bit ahead on the minions and hero experience. Both teams going to be at level 10 roughly the same time. Roughly the same time. Redbeard trying to ward away Mariners here, but it looks like will be an immediate red Webweaver turn-in for House of Chez. Sergeant Scoops and Orion managed to start this bruiser camp before the cap, so they're going to get that pushing down the mid lane, but level 10 is here for House of Chez. We're looking at the Durance of Hate, the Light Bomb, Dragon Arrow, Falling Sword for Shemix, and the Poison Nova for Zool. So Shemix looking to try to get out of trouble or possibly get into trouble with that Falling Sword. Level 10s are here. Oh, the double silence coming in from Ariel, catching Mariners and Shemix. There's the combo, Light Bomb, the follow-up Falling Sword. Orion able to move on out of there, but Uther goes down after hitting that Divine Hurricane. So there we see the combo. The Light Bomb Falling Sword is the game plan. Coming in from House of Chez. They find the kill onto Uther, and they're going to get their siege onto this mid-fort. Protectors of Aiur just going to go ahead and try to clear the top lane to save at least one of their forts. This keep wall could be in jeopardy, though. It's the rest of House of Chez blasting on through. Uther back on the battlefield here. It looks like House of Chez is going to back off as the Web Weavers expire. Protectors of Aiur taking a look at their heroics. We have the Warlord's Challenge, the Divine Hurricane, Micro Missiles, Ball Lightning, and Counter Strike coming out from Alarak. House of Chez can get a double turn in here. Flash and Mariners are enough to do it. Redbeard trying to throw out the Micro Missiles, but not there quite in time, and that's a double red Webweaver wave. It looks like House of Chez wants to keep up the pressure here in the mid lane. I keep checking the dude's level 1 quest on the Hanzo, just still sitting at 1. It makes me wonder if that's an observer bug, or if the dude really is still trying to find 4 heroes to hit with that Stormbow. Seems unlikely, but it is possible. Redbeard in the bottom lane, trying to clear away that red Web Weaver. Protectors of Aiur are going to clear away the mid and top fort, along with a pretty healthy Web Weaver, are gone and pushing on to keeps. Protectors of Aiur coming on up here for the defense. Hanzo's going to catch them all with the Sonic Arrow. Protectors of Aiur looking to get the clear, looking to surge on past, possibly get a throw in. Still trying to work the defense. Eclectic is rooted. There it is. The Light Bomb combo with the Falling Sword is up. Catches 4. Dragon Arrow coming out. The Poison Nova dealing so much damage to Protectors of Aiur. Garrosh is going to go down here. Ariel has to back, get healed on up. And maybe this push continues as Flash is moving on in with that Lightning Nova. Yeah, there's 2 stacks for Hanzo, so I guess just looking for the opportunity here. Mephisto showing why they were banned in game number 1. Flash doing some big work there on the Primeval. Checking in on the hero damage, it is indeed Mephisto leading the way with nearly 25,000. D.Va actually on top for Protectors of Aiur. Oh, this could be trouble for Flash. The Micro Missiles will not land, and Flash will manage to get away here. Redbeard sitting on 57 gems, looking for an opportunity to turn in. House of Chez trying to keep an eye on these turn-in points to not let D.Va turn in for free. Mariners is on the bottom camp, going ahead and picking that up. We'll see if Eclectic can find a throw here. Moving across the map. Doesn't want to get the throw into Johanna unless absolutely it's the only choice. I think that was the Warlord's Challenge. It was. Garrosh using that challenge. Oh, gets the throw onto Flash, but Anduin is there with the save. Nice body blocks coming in from Redbeard. The pull from Ariel, but Flash manages to survive. There it is. The Light Bomb coming out, catches 3. Knocked up by... Oh, somehow the Dragon Arrow misses. And Protectors of Aiur maybe have an opportunity to turn this thing around as the combo didn't come out properly. Somehow the dude not hitting that Dragon's Arrow, I think that missed all 5 of them by an inch. But House of Chez managed to survive here. Redbeard thinking about going in. Oh, the bomb does not get dropped, but Protectors of Aiur are going to pick up this mid fort with their blue Webweaver wave. Very nicely done. Flash coming in, trying to get some wave clear. Gonna have to retreat behind the fort here as the wall falls. Redbeard trying to work their way back up to a mech as the shielding is quickly taken out. Zool cleaning up the objective in the bottom lane. There's the bomb thrown out, trying to create some space, and it looks like Protectors of Aiur are now taking a building lead, getting all 3 forts in a pretty short amount of time there. They're gonna have to try to catch up on this XP. It looks like their main point that they're behind is the passive and the hero kills. With none so far, they're definitely behind on the road to level 16. Ariel trying to turn in 13. House of Chez now has enough for their next Webweaver, but so do Protectors of Aiur, both looking for their 60 gem turn-in. House of Chez has level 16, this could be trouble. The taunt is good, the silence is out, but the damage was back on this bruiser camp. Redbeard and Orion picking up the bruiser to push in the mid lane. Mariners and Flash trying to turn in. Eclectic manages to... Oh, looking for a possible throw. There's the light bomb. Only catches 1. The falling sword also onto Sergeant Scoops. Durance of Hate is intercepted by D.Va. Eclectic and Orion getting healed up in the background. Great job by Protectors of Aiur, turning that into a busted engage by House of Chez. The dude gonna go ahead and get mana back. Hanzo finished that level 1 quest, so gonna be increasing the damage on that Stormbow. Eclectic just keeping an eye on the bottom turn-in. Meanwhile, the rest of Protectors of Aiur managed to get a blue Webweaver wave, and Protectors of Aiur is starting to turn this thing around. Things were not looking good in the early game. There's the throw. Oh, the Divine Storm does not get Chez. Save coming in from Anduin. And a very nicely timed Iron Skin allows Chez Mix to get on out of there. Still got blue Webweavers barreling down the lanes here, though. And the mid and top are going to be pushing pretty far onto these keeps. See if House of Chez is up for the defense, as Protectors of Aiur is already working on this top wall. Zool is clearing out the mid as quickly as they can. Redbeard manages to avoid the Anduin route with those boosters. 1 cannon tower down. Chez Mix thrown in, the stun follow-up is good. There's the silence, and Johanna blown up before the Iron Skin can go through. That's the combo that Protectors of Aiur needed. The bomb from D.Va prevents any further engage from House of Chez, and with the enemy tank down, Protectors of Aiur are going to see how much that they can do on this siege. Looks like they're going to give up the top lane and start rotating through. Zool trying to be a little bit careful, make sure the gank isn't coming their way, as Protectors of Aiur are moving down to the bottom lane. D.Va interrupting the rotations in the mid from House of Chez. There's the stun and the taunt, and that's 44 gems on the ground from Zool. Caribou trying to move through to possibly pick them up, but Protectors of Aiur are warding away, and that's 44 gems on the ground. Protectors of Aiur with a huge pick there in the bottom lane. Very, very nicely done. Johanna is back on the battlefield, but there's another 30 seconds for Zool. Looks like Protectors of Aiur are going to go ahead and grab this siege camp. Not thinking about boss just yet. Gonna send Uther back to the base to get some mana. Chez Mix trying to keep an eye on this top lane as Protectors of Aiur considering their next move. They've only got 10 seconds with Zool dead. Neither team has enough for their next turn-in now. So we're going to enter a vision control phase of the game. Just moving around, clearing lanes, and trying to make sure the enemy doesn't quite know where you are. Is the name of the game at this point on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Zool is back, so we're back to 5-on-5. 2 members showing in the bottom lane here. Looks like Protectors of Aiur are happy to simply wait for 60 gems as they rotate around the lanes. The dude just making sure no one's in the boss pit. Eclectic waiting on the walls here. Flash starting to venture forward a little bit, but manages to move on back. Good map awareness. Shh. We're hunting wabbits. Protectors of Aiur abandons their gank position and starts to move back. House of Chez gonna go ahead and pick up this bruiser camp. These Hanzo arrows definitely gonna help out in preventing any side lane ganks. Teams coming dangerously close to each other here. The dude gonna go ahead and land that Stormbow. And we have a bruiser camp that's providing some armor here to House of Chez. This could be trouble as Ariel takes a lot of damage from the Mephisto. There's the light bomb. It's gonna catch Eclectic. The falling sword. Oh, fantastic Indomitable. But will it be enough? There goes Uther. Redbeard is taken out of the mech. Eclectic manages to get around the back line. So just the mech going down here, but with Uther down, this is going to be a very difficult defense here for Protectors of Aiur. The long-range engage of the Light Bomb Falling Sword once again coming in handy for House of Chez, and they're going to head up and try to take this boss. They've got the level 20 advantage, they've got the 5v4, and they're going to burn right through this Tomb of the Spider Queen boss. Protectors of Aiur will have to settle for this bruiser camp and then get set up for the boss defense. I think Uther will be up by the time the boss hits that keep. 20 seconds here. We're going to see the boss just now spawning. Eclectic going to go ahead and cap that bruiser. Now, I've mentioned this with a couple of teams so far. Generally what you want to do is turn in and then take the boss, because then this happens. Protectors of Aiur are getting basically a free clear on your boss while you're working on turning in gems. So now you've got a split push rather than you take the Web Weavers, let them march down the lane, and then take the boss, so you've got a stacked push. That's not what we're going to see here. The boss burned away for free. House of Chez do have the red Web Weavers coming, so they have a second life on this push. They lose a little bit of the potential power. With Uther dead for so long, like, I know they didn't have the gems right away. With Uther dead for 50 seconds, I think they had the opportunity. Oh, the throw-in on Johanna. Unstoppable coming out. The root is intercepted by the mech. That's Durance of Hate down for 40 more seconds here. Eclectic taking some big damage. There's the falling sword. Will not land. Shaymix gets pulled in and silenced. The follow-up Uther stun is good, but look at that Poison Nova landing onto basically the entire team there. Follow-up stun onto Orion is good. Cassia is deleted. Uther is down. Uther may be coming back here. Did take redemption, but it's going to have to move towards the base as to not die again. Sergeant Scoops is back up, trying to heal up Eclectic, give that extra armor. With Cassia down, Web Weavers are on the core. The defense is possible, but it's going to be very difficult. Core shielding is down. Eclectic moving on in. Shaymix getting targeted by the core, pops the indestructible, but Garrosh will be the one that falls. Core down to 66%. Shaymix is still up and running. Durance of Hate whiffs. Sergeant Scoops taking some damage from Flash. 38% on the core. Ariel is going to be going down here. Sergeant Scoops is next. 20% on the core, and there it is. House of Chez take the game and take the series. GG. There we have it. You saw my Mephisto was banned away. Flash leading the way, 81,000 hero damage on the Lightning Mage, on the Primeval of Hate. Very, very nicely done by Flash. The Falling Sword Light Bomb Engage can just, it's so deceiving, because it looks like you're way out of range, and then boom, Johanna's on top of you, one stun, second stun, Mephisto blinks in, Hanzo's shooting from a mile away, and Protectors of Aiur looking very good there in the late game. We're starting to really turn that around. But one bad team fight at level 20 is all it takes there on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and House of Chez is victorious. Mentioned Mephisto leading the way there for House of Chez. Orion edging out Redbeard on the hero damage, 38,000 coming out from Cassia. Take a quick look at the talents, and then we'll see if we can get an interview with our winning team. Alrighty, that is our series. House of Chez goes up 2-0 and takes the victory. And here is Flash. Thank you very much for joining me.
No problem. How are you?
Doing great. Fantastic stuff. Congratulations on the 2-0 victory there. Oh, did I lose you?
Oh, sorry. My mic not have caught through.
Oh.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
No problem at all. So talk to me about game number 1. We saw that was the first Nazebo game I've cast all year long. Was that an opportunity that presented itself in draft, or is that something that your team likes to take there on Volskaya?
Draft opportunity since they showed Uther early.
Okay, so just wanted to bring in that extra poison damage in the late game, stack it on that Lunara. Oh, I think your gate cut off there.
One button's all messed up. But yeah, that was the game plan. Uther is weak into poison damage, so we figured we'd double down on it.
Well, we saw it worked out very well. Things were starting to get a little dicey there in the mid. The combos from May and Uther were starting to work. Was there any point in that game where you felt it seemed like both teams were a little bit timid through the early going? Was the game plan all the way through just get to 20? Like what were sort of the downfalls you wanted to make sure you didn't fall into there in game number 1?
For game number 1, definitely. Like Lunar is a huge late game hero, so is Nazebo. So the mission is like, let's just, they're not coming in on us. Let's just get to 20 and we'll wreck them then. And sure enough, it worked.
Very nicely done for sure. Taking a look there at game number 2, that one very back and forth. You guys were taking a lot of those early team fights, but Protectors of Aiur were getting some big value on sort of in the mid to late game there. What was my question there? We saw the early combos from Garrosh and Uther weren't working so hot in the beginning, but then they started working towards the end there. What sort of adjustments did you have to make towards the later levels to avoid the engage of Protectors of Aiur?
Well, I think in the beginning, they were tossing Johanna, which worked out for us. So we were able to just get more lane momentum that they had to clean up instead of have Garrosh roam around for ganks, which we were terrified of. And then they did a good job in the middle of not showing on the map, so we didn't know where they were, and they were able to pick off Johanna up top, and then we had no idea where they went. Zool was barely exposed, but they did a good job of running down and ganking him quick. So that totally caught us off guard, but we were able to recoup pretty well.
Absolutely. Very nice job there at the end. That Falling Sword Light Bomb combo can just engage from such a long distance. Is that a practiced combo for you guys?
No, that was our first time doing it.
Really?
Yeah.
'Cause that was looking very, very good out there.
Thank you.
All right, so pretty clean victory, though. Hard fought in those games, definitely a little bit of back and forth, but picking up the 2-0. So we're starting to get into the later part of the season here. Are there any teams left to face here in C East that you're looking forward to?
I think we've played all the teams that we're buddies with. I think the rest of the teams we don't know who's on their team or any of the guys that are on, or guys or girls, I should say, that are on their team, and we're looking forward to meeting some new people.
All right, fantastic to hear. It's been a pretty Division C in general has been very very competitive so far. It's been very cool to see. All right, well, as we close things out here, are there any shout-outs you'd like to make?
The whole gang: Caribou, the Dude, Mariners, Chez, Ridley, No Dice, Death of Icarus, all you guys. You guys are what makes House of Chez work.
All right, fantastic stuff. Well, once again, congratulations on the victory and good luck going forward.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the cast.
My pleasure. See you next time.